Hi there, this is Darren from Treasure Life Family Farms, and I just wanted to introduce you to the laser that is part of day 4, I believe it is, whatever day in the title, pretty sure day 4, on building our Yoder hoop house. So this is it's a Robo Tools. I'm not familiar with any of the brands of the lasers, but what this one does is got a button set on the back of here. It self levels, finds its own version, the perfect version of perfectly flat, and the laser can either do this, pretend you're in a room, and it would paint a laser line on all the walls in the room, perfectly level. And if you're doing a different kind of project where you need to, this would paint on the floor, the ceiling, and 2 walls in this direction, if that's the one you're using. I'm sure there's a reason for that one. And then this thing here allows you to control it remotely, which is pretty cool. And it also is a reader. So I believe the little red screen here reads the laser. So if you're using this in pure daylight, like we were a little bit yesterday, then you hold it up and you move it up or down, and when it's just at the level of the actual laser beam, it finds that, and then on the LCD screen it shows you go down just a little bit, go down just a little bit, perfect. And it also has a tone to it, a beep tone. So if you're near the laser, basically probably somewhere in the range, then you get a kind of a beep, 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 beep. You're getting closer, kind of a tone. And as soon as you are dead on that laser stripe that it's painting from this unit here, it's a solid tone. So you know you're right on. And then you've got your little wedge back here to, where the real dead center is. So that's how this laser works. Let me go show you how it turned out when we used it last night. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. All right, so here we are. We're out at the project, and I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, but when you look down that row of posts, not only are they like within probably less than a 1/4 inch on everything lined up, but they're all perfectly the right height. And same thing going on over here. And the tricky thing is this. Left side to right side, they're all perfectly level too. And our whole farm, we got 10 acres out here. And on the plat surveys, it's only varies by like 2 feet across the whole 10 acres. 660 feet in every direction. Perfectly flat rectangle for the most part. And then we built it up a little bit to, so the water runs away from the house, but perfectly flat. So I didn't expect this one. When you go over here and you actually measure up, I don't have the inches in mind, but I walked up to it and put the line on my chest. Then I come over here, it's like 4 inches difference. Like these are 4 inches closer to the dirt than the other side, but that made me have a doubt about that level. So we ran a string across a couple that we had done, that side to this side, tightened that string up like a banjo, super tight, a couple people holding it, and we put the regular level on that string, and it was dead perfect level. So not only are these all the same height because of that, but both sides are the same exact height, perfectly level with gravity, I guess, because not level with the land. They're not following the slope of the land. So how did we do it? Well, we found our set post, just like basically the shortest one in the batch at that point. These are supposed to be 30 inches in the ground. Well, the short side is more than 30 in the ground. The long side's probably right at 30. So we're missing our holes at the bottom of these, but I still didn't see anywhere in the directions where we needed that hole or what we're going to do with it. And how the laser worked is we set a table in the middle of here, this little workbench. We put that laser on top of it, and the wind died all the way down. There was not a breath of wind all the time we were working on this last night. And we figured out our set post where our set post was. We had the laser running, and we found out where it was hitting that post, and then we marked every other post the same thing. It's like 4 3/4 down, I think it was. So there's 50 posts total. We marked them all at the same place. We marked them in a way that they were sort of facing where the laser was running, so that when the stripe was coming across here, we want to match it up with the black line. And so we pound the post down until they hit that. And then move on to the next post. So that sets your post at the right height. And the other thing that happened was when we first started, it was daylight like this, so you can't see the laser beam light shine on there. So you use that little yellow tool, and you find your line is here, so you keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it until it matches up, and then you quit. Well, it is September, so it gets dark here right around 7 o'clock at night now, which is seemingly super early. So after it got dark, we could see that line was painted bright red wherever it was, and then we just start pounding the post. As the post went in the ground, the Sharpie marker line came right to it. That's how that worked. Here's our little slug we got from Yoder as part of the kit. These they mark them on the thing as $11. Our post pounder did this to it over time, and this thing gets super hot when you're working with it, pounding with that gas-powered pounder. We pushed most of these stakes in the ground with the tractor. We found a way to put this in the post when it's fully up. My wife would level all over the place as we went, and I would just slowly push it in the ground. On most of them, we left them up an inch or two above where we knew they were going to need to be. And then when we started with the laser, we did the finishing with the gas-powered pulse driver. Here's my message on the gas-powered post driver. I think we got pretty favorable soil and dirt around here. We've got a foot of black topsoil or more, and then we go into some clay, and that typical gas-powered post pounder is not enough for that. We got through. If you were driving all of these from full height into the ground, you better have about 6 or 8 of those pounding slugs, or whatever they call them. I don't know, I could have been calling it slug. You better have about 6 or 8 of those on hand in about 2 weeks. It's going to take you literally forever. And if you've got rocky ground, you're out of luck. There's no way that thing's going to pound these into anything where you hit a rock. So that's just my word on the gas-powered post driver for this. There's probably a version of it that is like for the front of a bobcat or something, for pounding wood posts into pasture land for farmers and ranchers. Maybe something like that would do you better. But the regular gas-powered thing is almost not useful on this project. But we got it done. We're set now. These things are all perfectly level, straight up and down, spaced. We built a couple bows yesterday, and my daughter said, "Hey, there's no wind, Dad. How come we're not doing the laser thing?" Like, good point. So we ran over here and did this last night. So that's day 4 of getting ready for our, building our hoop house. We set this drip line down here because we were a little bit doubtful last night that we were going to be able to move some of these with that gas powered thing, but we got them all in, and then I think I forgot to turn it off in the end, so let's do that. I love these Melnor things in the hose lines. I use those a lot. I think they're pretty useful. So anyways, that's where we're at on day 4. We're gonna get to working on it. Day 5's coming up. We've got some things to do this morning that we can't work on this right now, but this afternoon I think we can get back to it and get all the bows built and maybe even start setting them today, or if not today, tomorrow. That's where we're at. Very cool. Fun project. Thanks for watching. You're right to not have an addendum to the hoop house project, because this is where I was walking by on my way back to the house. The sunflowers. I didn't notice before, but they literally follow the sun. These are facing the sun now. And I bet if I come out here at 5 o'clock, they're going to be facing over there, They were facing that way last night, and I didn't realize it, but then now it's morning, and I'm out here, and well, not all of them, I guess. Most of them are facing the actual sun. That's pretty cool. So this is our flower project. Almost 100% my wife doing this. I help build infrastructure sometimes when she needs it. Little growing chambers and whatever I can do, but I have no talent or whatever for the flowers. Let's see if we can see these things. Look like a little brain. I don't even know what kind these are, so she'd be able to tell you. I just think they're really super cool. And so she's able to she figured out how to grow all this stuff this summer. And so next summer the idea is that all these beds will be in some state of flower growth, and at some point when the first ones are ready, you make bouquets out of them, and hopefully people want to buy those bouquets. And then the next week the next beds are sort of getting ready, and then the next beds and the next beds, and everything's kind of in a progression cycle. That'll be a little bit of learning on that, I think, but I'm guessing she's got it down as to how to actually sprout these things and get them to big like this. This is really cool. She has some bouquets inside already that she made in our house. They're really neat. There's an update on flower project.